Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for round 3 of the 2022-2023 Nations Cup exhibition season taking place at Road Atlanta with the the X2019 competition. So this is a 24-lap race where the racing soft and medium tires are required, so make sure you use both tire compounds during the race. Fuel is a ×3 and tire is a ×2, and both will be an issue for this race. We have a 5-minute qualifier, but the fuel will be off and tire will be at ×2, and again this is for the qualifier. But do be aware that because fuel is an issue, I do want to highlight that the refueling speed is at 10 liters per second, and interestingly, the slipstream strength is real, which can potentially bring problems when it comes to dirty air. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the lap guide on the racing soft tires with BOP on and tuning disabled. You have to be really careful with this car's throttle input as it will spin out if you give it a chance to. Try to take turn 1 flat out, but you can do a little bit of a courtesy lift to try to turn in a bit more so you don't understeer into Narnia. Brake before the curb on the left starts, and just trying to maximize your momentum, trying to take advantage of the curbs, exiting on 5th gear. Brake just as the curb on the right starts, turning in when that curb ends. Try not to go too wide onto the wider curb, otherwise you do risk getting an off-track penalty. Brake before the 200 feet line, and then when you hit the turn out area from the last turn, that's where you want to start to brake, shifting down to 1st or 2nd gear as you turn in, but then exit on 4th gear and carefully get on the throttle. And then this is where you can take a little bit of a breather because you're going through a kind of long back straight. Then bring yourself towards the right. You're braking before the 100 feet line, taking advantage of the curves, going down to 3rd gear for more rotation, or even 2nd gear for more rotation. But exit the chicane on 4th gear and be nice and careful on the throttle so you don't spin out. But that is it for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the strategies. And can I just say, oh my goodness. So for those who haven't been keeping up with what's been going on with me over on Twitter, I got stuck in this vortex where I was trying to do a complete run with this race, and I got stuck for like 5 or 6 hours just trying to get a single run done because this car just wants to spin out all the time. And I'll show a couple of those clips later on in the video. But anyways, 24 lap race, and the strategy is pretty straightforward. You have to use the racing soft and medium tires in the race so you don't get a 1-minute penalty after the race ends. If you're starting at the very front, start on the racing soft tires to get away from everyone else and hopefully enjoy that clean air. If you're starting anywhere closer towards the middle or the back, start on the racing medium tires, because if the dirty air, so whenever you're behind someone, if the dirty air is as bad as it is with the Group 2 cars, Group 1 cars, the Super Formula cars, then it's going to be pretty difficult to get any sort of passing done, so you might as well just be on the slower tire compound. But I'm not sure if the dirty air will be similar as how we had it in the Trial Mountain Nations Cup demo race, where the dirty air was a lot less apparent. If it's like that, then it'll be a bit easier to get a pass done. If it's as bad as it is like with Daily Race C, which is Group 2 out topless, then it's going to be really hard to get a pass done. But going on over towards the fuel and tire wear, both are an issue, even though the tire and fuel usage rate is pretty low, because this car loves to use its resources rather harshly. So here I am at the end of lap 14. I have about a lap's worth of fuel left, but my tires are not looking too good and the car is getting really sketchy now. So I'm going to go ahead and pit on over after the chicane. Just carefully pull on over towards the right. Try not to cross the solid line so you don't get a 3-second penalty. And there we go. So we're going to go ahead and pit on in. We started on the racing soft tires, so I'm going to go ahead and change on over towards the racing medium tires and refuel to where the diamond is. And as I mentioned earlier, the refuel speed is 10 liters per second. So fuel saving is not a huge priority, but you can do some fuel saving mainly by short shifting. But other than that, I was mostly just going as fast as I can. In terms of pit loss, it's around 34 seconds, but this will depend on how much you have to refuel. So 34 seconds is around the ballpark of how much time you'll be losing in the pit stop. And as you saw right now, I crossed the pit line at the exit of the pit stop and picked up a 3-second penalty, so do be careful about that. And on the racing medium tires, you want to be a bit more careful as there's less grip available on these tires, and this car is a bit more prone to spinning out. In terms of the racing soft tires, how long they last will depend on how good you are with your throttle management, because again, it's the rear tires that you want to worry more about as they wear out faster. So the racing soft tires, they'll last you anywhere from 12 to 15 laps. I think in one run I was able to make them last 15 laps, but then I binned it shortly after. But in this run, I was able to make them last 14 laps before I decided to bail out on them and switch over to the racing medium tires. Turn 1 right here, you have to be really careful on the throttle, especially on the racing medium tires, because there is more risk of understeering. So I just want to put that out there. Do a courtesy lift on turn 1 to make sure that you're able to stay on the track and turn in a bit more. But anyways, going over towards the final lap, getting ready to finally end this run, because I think I spent about 6 hours just trying to get a single run done because I kept spinning out everywhere. Yeah, this car, oh my goodness. Don't get me started with this car, because this car and we have history. I really don't like this car. It tries to spin out all the time, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave that story for another day. But at the end of this race, this is around a 25-minute race. In this run, I did around a 25-minute 7-second run, but the game will say 25:10 because I still have that 3-second penalty hanging over my head from crossing the pit line at the exit of the pit stop. But there we go. So again, fuel and tire wear are an issue, and you do need to use both the racing soft and medium tires, and you will have to do some refueling, so do be aware of that. This is a survival race, so if you're going to do this race, good luck, because as you're about to see, these are some clips that I saved up of me binning it. Turn 3, binned it right there. Turn 1, understeer into this wall that's just sticking out over here. Turn 5, gonna get on the throttle, and then the car is gonna decide that it wants to spin out. The chicane, hey, you want to go fast? Nope, just gonna go ahead and spin out. Turn 1 again on the racing medium tires, I found out the hard way that you definitely want to lift off the throttle right there. Turn 3 again, took too much of the curb, did a little bunny hop, and then ended up in the wall. What's going on over here? Turn 5 again, gonna try to be nice and careful on the throttle, but the car is gonna go ahead and do a pirouette because it feels like it wants to dance around and take me to spin class. Turn 7, try to be careful on 4th gear, and the car decides no. Turn 6, actually this was a weird one where I got a bit of wheel spin, tried to save it, but then the car decided nope, you're not going to save it. And then what's going on over here, the final chicane, you're going to try to get a good exit, a little bit of wheel spin, and then the car decides that you lose. Good day, sir. And yeah, screw this car, screw this race, because I'm 100% skipping it. If you're going to do this race, good luck, because the power of God and anime cannot save you here. But yeah, I've had enough of this race. Gonna go now. Have a good one.